How's it going, everybody? Welcome to week 8 here. Moving right along. Let me just double check that it's week 8. Yes. Halfway through the semester. So, congratulations. We're moving there. We've covered a lot, particularly the last 3 weeks. Yeah, we have a quiz coming up. I'll talk about that in a second. I want to go back to last week and talk about epic essay peer reviews. Thank you for everyone who submitted those. I apologize for some of the confusion about where to actually put them in the groups. I didn't realize that if you click on the discussion prompt on the Lamaku page, it doesn't open it up to all of them. Still figuring things out on my end, but hopefully, I think I did read everyone's and gave comments on them. So I've looked at everyone's drafts, and again, exactly however you did them is perfect. A draft is just words on paper. Just get that ball rolling, get those ideas flowing. I liked how everybody kind of split up. Most people split up the, kind of the draft in the 3 major sections of the essay. Great. Good job. The only big thing, I think I mentioned this on a lot of people's, is in the final draft, definitely look at the review, at the format and the guidelines. Make sure you include a direct quote, at least 3 direct quotes from your epic, not like secondary quotes that talk about it, but what does the epic say, particularly the cultural significance side. If you're going to say your epic is culturally significant because it expresses this point, make sure you pick out a quote from your epic that addresses that, supports that statement. So everyone has it. Words are there. Again, and I also said another point I made in some people's, if they're really big, broad epics, feel free to narrow them down, pick a chapter, focus on a specific character, and you could you can talk about that in the summary and the historical context and the cultural significance. It helps. It makes it a little more manageable there. So that's take a look at my notes on those on the peer reviews. But you're well on your way. Those are due in 2 weeks. So keep reading, get those epics, keep writing, thinking. And then this week we're talking about Greece. We're talking about Rome or the Mediterranean world. So this Mediterranean segment of these early imperial formations. We did South Asia. We did East Asia. We did Persia. Now we're back to Greece and Rome. And, filled those in a little bit. The history of the Minoans and Mysians, early sort of settlers of Greece, and then the Etruscans in Italy. And then over time built larger sort of connections. Greece sort of remained fragmented amongst these city-states. I talk about the importance of those, and then came united during the Persian Wars, and that brings about, there's this efflorescence of Greek culture with playwrights and philosophy and math and science, all of these things, kind of the Plato-Socrates worlds. Herodotus is all in this sort of Persian War, Peloponnesian War area. And then out of that, there will be a Greek empire with the formation with the expansion of Alexander, he is very short-lived in his, only 10 years of sort of expansion, but then the spread of Greek ideas and Hellenism throughout Egypt and what is now sort of the Middle East. And then the other part of that, I gave some videos as well. I found a whole movie of the Lysistrata, played Lysistrata. If you want to, I think it's a really interesting, fun play. It's a contemporary retelling of it by college kids, I think. So it shows you how relevant this play is, and it has been put on over and over throughout time. I also gave Plato's allegory of a cave video, which I think is also a really interesting way to think about it. I mean, this is what the Greeks were thinking about. This is the philosophy. What is reality? What we see? How can we assess the world around us? And then on the other side of that, you get Roman Empire with first the Roman Republic, the Etruscans, Roman expansion of Roman Republic out of Rome, Italy first, then the Punic Wars with Carthage, and then slowly around the Mediterranean until you have Caesar. So if you've ever heard the name Julius Caesar, now you have a little bit of understanding where he comes from and fits into this history. And then his successor, adopted son Octavian, who then becomes Augustus, who starts the Roman Empire, which will then, for the next 300 years, from about 27 BC to 400 CE, the Roman Empire will control much of the Mediterranean, tie into these larger Silk Road connections. A lot of names and dates, and who's and what's and where's and when's. I did give I found a really interesting website that's sort of Pompeii that you can, if you, Pompeii is really interesting because it's sort of a snapshot of the ancient world, 79 CE, because there was near Mount Vesuvius and it was buried under ash and it just was preserved. And within the last 100 years, it's been dug out and excavated, and it kind of gives us a snapshot of what life was like in the Roman Empire. So if you want to explore around on that, if you're interested in learning more, I thought that website was really interesting. But a lot of names and dates. So the quiz this week is a lot of names and dates. It's just the who, what, where, whens. You don't have to worry about the whys in this one. There's no writing section. It's just geography, fill in the blank, and matching. I might try to find a better way to do the geography. I'm going to play around with things this week. I'm trying to still figure out the Lamaku best assessment way. So yeah, we can do that. Again, the review guide is there. So take a look at that. It's on the instructions. There's also a link to assign review terms. Try to get those in by the end of the day today. I say 4 o'clock. If you need a little bit extra time, please don't worry about it. But if you can get it done by 4, then you don't have to worry about it tonight. So and then the quiz will be available to take between 9 a.m. on Friday. Anytime on Friday. I think you have an hour for it. Shouldn't take that long. Open note. You can have all of my notes open. You can have the review guide open. Everything can be there. Again, I just want you to try to put these a lot of names and dates and people's places. Put those who, what's, where's, and when's together a little bit in this quiz, and then next week you can finish up your epic essays. So I think that's it. Have a good rest of your week.